Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday. It's 12:15, and it is time for Live from Dave's office. My camera has quit working right now, but it's okay. You don't need to see me. But without any further ado, with all of our news and exciting stuff going on, here's our pastor, Dave Kettleson.
Hey, welcome everyone. We're going to do something different today, just kind of fun, especially if there's kids and you might want to play this back for them. I've got with me, his name is Jen, and he can answer any question that you ask. And what we're going to do is I've asked Hal to choose an animal. Now, he's not on, okay? So you have to push his nose and then he comes on. So he's not listening right now. And I've asked Hal to choose an animal. And this is, Hal, what did you choose?
I chose a giraffe.
So here we have a giraffe, everyone. And he's off, but I'm going to push his nose. Now he's going to ask Hal some questions, and then I'm going to maybe take this to my office at church. So if any kids want to, play along too at church. But here we go.
Hey, a new friend. Want to play? Great! I love guessing games, especially when I'm sure to win. Think of an animal. Say, okay, when you're ready.
Okay.
Nice. I'm going to ask you a question. Answer yes, no, or I don't know. You can also say, it depends. Can it jump?
I don't know.
All right. Does it live in the water?
Well, I've got someone working. Say that again.
I didn't understand. Say it again.
What was the question?
What was the question?
Okay. Can this animal swim?
No.
Very interesting. Is it larger than a microwave?
Yes.
Aha, I see. Does this animal have claws?
No.
Is it larger than a microwave?
Yes.
Does it have claws?
No.
That's what I thought. Does this animal have hooves?
Yes.
All right. Does it have horns or antlers?
I don't know.
Okay. Does this animal have a long tail?
What would you say, Dave?
That's a good one.
Very interesting. Does it live in the forest?
No.
Aha, I see. live on the farm?
Live on the what?
Farm. No,
All
Oh,
right.
no.
no.
Does it live on the savannah?
Yes.
Is it larger than a motorcycle?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Does this animal have spots?
Yes.
All right. Oh, I think that I found it. I bet you were thinking of a giraffe.
Very good. I am actually impressed.
Can you repeat?
Yes.
Yes.
You are right.
I won. You thought you had me, didn't you? But I'm smarter than you. One more round.
Okay, well,
Bye-bye.
that was kind of fun, wasn't it?
Well, most everyone is already smarter than me, so a little plastic toy with batteries does not surprise me that it's smarter than me.
Don't say that, Hal. That's not true. Well, that was kind of fun. Just something a little different to start off our little podcast. And if you're ever at the church and you have got kids, we'll play that game there. I'll plan to bring them to the church. So,
And for folks that are wondering, if you ever want to be a pastor in the Adventist church, you have to beat that animal. That's the criteria for becoming a pastor in the church.
Yeah, that's in every interview. In fact, we're going to have to, Keith Bowman's going to have to pass the test before the deal is sealed. So, well, hey, we've got a lot going on, don't we, Hal? In fact, tonight we've got a dinner that's from 6 to 7:30. And what are we having tonight, Hal?
Tonight is hot dogs and chips and desserts.
Awesome.
We are preparing right around 200 meals, and this is something for everybody in the community. We are there's no criteria. If you need a night off from cooking, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't matter if you're in a hurry, you just want to rest tonight, pick up food for you and your family. There's no real limit on how many you pick up, so you can pick up for as many as you need.
Yeah, and that's right. In fact, we have a lot of cards that just come through, and they're just so grateful. Parents of little kids saying, "Hey, man, I get one night off a week, don't have to cook." And we've had a lot of comments on a Facebook commenting site, and some of those have been just amazing. I've read through them, and people are just so grateful, and they wish they lived closer. Some people live a little distant, maybe in Cleveland, but they said that they'd like to even come and help. And what are some of the comments you remember on that page, Hal?
I mean, so much of it is people just they're just grateful that they see Jesus working in the community. I mean, it's really nothing we're doing. This is an easy ministry. It's a common need. We all need to eat. And like I said, we don't do any screening. We don't disqualify a car. Oh, I'm sorry, your car's too nice. You don't get a free meal or anything like that. I mean, this is for everybody. And, it's just to let them know that, that they're loved and somebody cares about them. And so many of the comments we get aren't from people looking for meals, but they're just people in the community who are grateful that, that they see something kind and nice happening. And
Right.
I know that there is another church off of East Brainerd. They came by and spoke with us last week, who has also started a free giveaway meal ministry at their church. I believe it was a Baptist church, but they saw what we were doing and decided to do it themselves. And that is truly, to me, God working. This ministry has never been about, let's get more people to come to Hamilton. Like Roger Hernandez says, you feed people because they're hungry.
Right.
And so to see other churches jump in and start doing what we're doing, we get so many, and I always tell people on Tuesday nights, the people that we truly minister are the ones that honk and drive by and wave at us, because they see us out there every single week, and this might inspire them to do something into their church or to go back to their church or to go to any church. I mean, it just, they see people doing stuff, that's just there to help the community, and people just love that. They respond to that.
And the neat thing is the guy that came by, we talked to him for a little bit, and he said that they do it at a lunchtime, and they started advertising on Facebook also, but they wanted to come out. They heard of and what they're doing is feeding a group of people close to where they are, and they do a little radio advertising too, and we don't know how much, but mostly it's Facebook. We also have a doctor. I think he's a doctor. He looks like one. He's in his medical garb, and he's been coming by every week, and he says, I'm not here for a meal. I just love what you're doing, and he gives us money. And we're not asking for money. In fact, there are some families who have been coming for a while and says, would you take a donation? We never refuse a donation. In fact, I did refuse one several weeks ago, and I could see the disappointment on their face. I said, no, we don't need the donation. Thank you. We're just doing this. And I could just tell that they wanted to give. So we don't refuse donations. So if you're going to plan to give a donation, we'll take it.
Oh, absolutely.
We want you to know it's a blessing all the way around, and those that help out on this ministry, it's just fantastic. The best part, let me tell you, the best part, Hal and I know, and others that come out, is just watching the people's faces as they receive the meals, and they're just so grateful. And we don't ask any questions, like he said, like, hey, why do you need 8 when there's only 4 people in your car? We don't ask that. We just want them to know we're here to serve. And there are some people that help their elderly parents get a meal too, or someone else in need. So we're feeding, like you said, we were doing about maybe 100. Now we've doubled it because the need has increased, and people just love to come by and just visit too. So we've had prayer. I've been having prayer with this mother who's got some teenagers, and so a lot is happening during that meal. Now, we also too we had a movie night. We're going to have another one on the 19th of September. I don't think we've decided on the movie yet because it's people's choice, and we're going to have it out in the parking lot again. It was fantastic. We had over 250 people come. We social distance. Families were together. We had popcorn. We had refreshments. We had ice cream. We're not sure what we're going to do as far as the main refreshment, but we know we'll have popcorn, and we know that we'll have like water and things like that. But we might have ice cream. We might have donuts. We're not sure.
No, yeah.
So
The thing is, what made that so cool is that we were expecting about 100 people, and then 250 showed up. But the vast majority of those people that came were not members at Hamilton.
right.
They were just people from the community,
Right.
and that is how we are connecting the disconnected, the people that we're reaching out to and making friends with our community. And people, I've heard someone say, well, a movie night is great, but it's not going to, lead anybody to salvation. It's a baby step. It's, you have to build a relationship. You have to be able to give them a reason to come on their terms, and then they learn about all the stuff that we do, and they learn how God works in our church, and they can see it for themselves. So it's all baby steps, that, our job is to love people. That's it. As far as
That's it.
as far as growing them as Christians or whatnot, that's God's job. Our job literally is to love people, and that's what we want to focus on doing.
That's right. And it's God's job to move them in that direction, and we don't need to fix them, just love them. In fact, some of the people from, what we're doing, the lunches, I've actually met some of those people at church, and they said, I decided to come to your church. You've been feeding us. And they just popped in. So that's the beginning of these steps of these connection. And it's not that we're asking them to come to church. They just gravitate toward a church that's alive and doing something that's reaching the community. So we have the September the 19th, then also every second Saturday night. So what would that date be for the Samaritan Center? We kind of help pull in all the things that are left on the dock. We just pull that in. It starts at 9 o'clock. It's the second Saturday of the month. In fact, I can pull it up on my phone
I
here.
think that would be the 12th.
The 12th. September 12th at 9 o'clock. And we had a great group, and it went by pretty quick. It takes a little time. I think it'll go faster this time because we know what to do now. We had to follow some instructions, but it was really a lot of fun to get together with, just a bunch of men and women, and even a few kids came out. So be sure and mark that on your calendar, September 12th at 9 o'clock. Everyone's looking for something to do Saturday night. You don't always have to watch a movie and eat popcorn. So come out and get a little exercise, and it really means a lot to the Samaritan Center.
And there's something so interesting about this, Dave, is that, the body of Christ has a lot of parts, and we're not always the hands and the feet and the eyes and the mouth of Christ. Sometimes, we got to be the liver or the spleen or something else. The Samaritan Center enhances the lives of hundreds of thousands of people a year around the world. It is unbelievable what that place is able to do. And, when we come in and unload on Saturday night, it takes literally 3 or 4 hours of stress off that crew on Sunday morning. So, because the thrift store is the engine that runs it all. And when that stuff doesn't get loaded on Saturday nights, then that crew the employees on Sunday have to do it. And so they're at work for half a day before they can start actually doing their job of keeping that engine running. So this is a very easy way to serve, and really it's fun. I mean, you pick up stuff and you put it down somewhere else. I don't know how much easier you can make serving God, but it's really important. We don't have to, be there at the end result and always get the smiles and whatnot. We can do our part in the background as well. And this is a huge, simple way to make a difference in the lives, literally, I'm not kidding, hundreds of thousands of people.
Oh, yeah. In fact, they're all over the world. In fact, a lot of it goes to Africa. But I know there's one family, he's always there. And he said one time no one showed up, just him and his family. They were till, I think, 3, 4 in the morning. So it does make a difference when you have a lot of hands to make light work. And they appreciate it so much. It's the first time in the history of the Samaritan Center where in the last 8 years that he's been there, that every Saturday night is taken. And it was that Saturday night that was open. And so they were always scrambling to see if they could get volunteers. Now that Hamilton is taken the second Saturday of every month, and it will get earlier as the sun goes down earlier. We might be going to 8:30 or 8, so it'll be a little earlier as time goes by. But it'll be 9 o'clock now. And it goes by pretty quick when you work together with others, and you might have to ask, hey, what bin does it go in? But it's really pretty simple, like Hal said. Hey, just there it goes. And from one place to another.
And if someone went to you and said, listen, if you could spend an hour to an hour and a half a month and help out 100,000 people, would you do it?
Yeah.
And we can. I mean, literally, it's talking about, an hour and a half out of your month at a time when your kids are going to bed, when, there's not a ton of housework to do at 9. This isn't going to impact anything else in your schedule. This is easy. That's what we really want to, focus on is like, just a little bit of time makes things better for other people. It makes a difference for other people.
It's kind of fun. We get a little social time too, talking to each other as we're passing along and helping each other carry stuff. And plus, you burn a few calories. So
Yeah.
it's all good. It's all good. So we got that going on too. And then, of course, we have our morning devotionals every morning at 8 o'clock from 8 to 8:10. So it's only 10 minutes, and we're covering the very closing scenes of Christ's life. And right now, it's just so powerful to walk through that journey with Christ, his closing scenes. I always get a little choked up as I consider again that great sacrifice Christ made for us. But we're right now on the very closing scenes of the book of John. Then I'll be beginning a new book, and I'm not quite sure yet. I've been tossing a couple of different books around, thinking of all in the Bible. We're going to just cover the Bible, not someone else's book, and just go from there. So that's another thing that you can connect into. Anything else I'm missing? Of course, church. We have our 10 and 11 o'clock services. Just in case you haven't heard, our 10 o'clock is base mass required. And then at 11 o'clock, it's encouraged, but it's optional. And we just have 45-minute services. Now, we have been getting quite a few people. And just a heads up, we have had conversations about going to a 12 o'clock service. But we're not quite sure we're there yet. And I've talked to our music crew. I've talked to our AV guys. I've talked to a few other leaders, our elders. And it's something that we just keep in our mind in case we might have to go that direction. But right now, I think we're fine.
Yeah, I think that it's been kind of a packed house, but we're still safe. We're still socially distanced.
Yeah.
Really waiting to we've had some construction going on from the tornado damage, and there's a whole section of this sanctuary that doesn't have chairs in it. That I was thinking this week, wow, now that the roof is getting fixed, we could probably add another 50 chairs to that side of the room. So we may be able to do some things to keep it off. But if you're coming at 11 and it doesn't make a huge difference for you, I would highly encourage come to the 10 o'clock service, just to where we can make room for everybody. Because the last thing I ever want to do is turn somebody away at the door because there's too many people.
Sure. We have quite a few more seats in the 10 o'clock service. So, of course, wear a mask. And if you don't have one, we'll provide one for you. So, and they take your temperature at the front of the door. So as you come in, just expect that. And if you're a little warm, what we'll do is just invite you to come in, cool down. You might have been in the hot sun or as you're rushing into the church. So we'll work with you there. Just want to make certain everyone's safe, and we're keeping it socially distanced. We are really focusing on our live stream, but we want you to know that if you feel comfortable coming to church, we want to make it as safe as possible for you to be a part of that. In fact, the 10 o'clock service, I've had many people from other churches in the area saying, we're so grateful for the 10 o'clock service where masks are required. And we feel so comfortable coming to your church. And they let me know that their church, 90% are not wearing masks. So they say this is just a godsend to them. So just know, if you want to come to a 10 o'clock service, masks are required, and it's not optional. So, but the 11 o'clock is. Well, we've had a lot of neat things going too, and I don't know, I'm going to just mention Saturday night we had what was called Happily Ever After, and that was really a neat production. A couple of our young people in our church put on a Disney theme. We had live from our crew, like Aladdin, Mowgli, Tinkerbell. Just some of the Marvel characters, the Incredibles. It was really, really well done. And I think if you're interested, we can find a way. It was videotaped. It was live streamed somewhere. So you can probably find the video if you're interested.
Yeah, that really was a lot of fun. The production value was really kind of cool. I was really impressed, and it was just, a dream that one of our people had, and it was something he put together. So that was really a lot of fun. And the more and more that we get back to hopefully being normal, the more we're going to be able to do stuff like that. We're going to be able to do just fun events that just reach everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. We're trying to make certain that people are, like we said, connecting the disconnected and keeping our connected connected. We want to make certain that we connect everyone. And one of the most important things isn't the numbers that come in. It's seeing lives changed, transformed lives. And we're hearing so many different stories, and it's really neat. I'll get a text here and there, or an email, or a message from my Facebook, and tell me how much the service meant to them on a Sabbath, or even just they came out and they helped with the meal, and it just made such a difference to them, and to see these people come through. And so it's been really neat. It's really been neat. In fact, there's a couple that has been coming to help, and he lost his son just recently, and so we had a nice conversation up in Louisville. His son was murdered, and so it's been a rough time for him. But he said, I just need to get out and do something to help someone else, to get my mind off of it. And so it's a great way to just think about others and not yourself. So, well, I don't know of anything else that we need to talk about. Do you, Hal?
No, I would love to hear from the people. Dave is sitting there saying, "I don't know what we're going to do next on the morning devotions," and it's like, well, let's maybe you guys throw some suggestions on which book you want to cover next, or
Right.
Or what topics you want to hear discussed on the podcast.
Exactly.
If there's a guest you want to hear, let us know. I mean, comment here, and we're happy to make it happen for you.
Yes, in fact, I would love, like, if you want the book of James or Hebrews, or even an Old Testament book like the book of First, Second Samuel. Who knows? But would love to hear from you. Also, too, next week, I'm hoping to get our president of the Georgia Cumberland Conference, Gary Rustad, to join us for our next podcast, and we'll try to give you a heads up. I mean, just let you know, hey, this is what's coming up. So we're looking for individuals. Then after that, the week after, is our head greeter, our greeting coordinator, Andrew Klein. And so he will be with us, talk about what a greeter does, and how if you ever wanted to be involved in greeting, and just have a real great smile and a nice welcome. It's a very easy task, but such an important, I think, the most important position in the church. I mean, they're all important, but that one's your first impression for a guest to come through. So we're going to be talking to Andrew about what it means to be a greeter. Well, with that being said, I want to thank you for joining us today on our live podcast, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope that you'll join us either live stream our first service, which we encourage. We've got plenty of room in our first service, or our second service, whichever one you want to come to. And I want to remind you again tonight, we have hot dogs and chips and a dessert to give out. And if you'd like to come early and help put this together, I think they meet around 4:35 at our kitchen, and you're welcome to come and help. And either way, or just come by and get a meal, just for you and the family. No questions asked. We're not going to just say, hey, we're so glad you stopped by. So thank you so much for joining us. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. May God bless you real good.